Seka!
Hello, Normie Seka.
Yo, stop rubbing for your Fizz characters, bro. I just saw this thing on Twitter.
What did you possibly mean, Normie Seka?
Dude, there potentially could be a new artifact set coming out to the game.
I will probably have to go Google that.
Are you guys talking about leaks again?
No, of course not, Seka.
Yeah, we would be doing that shit.
You're not allowed to talk about leaks.
I've never done that.
Clearly, he's misinformed.
All right, I gotta take Jake to school. Don't talk about leaks.
We won't.
Alrighty, yo, there is something we gotta talk about. I wanted to let you guys know that in the patch for 1.5, potentially you could be wasting resin right now if you are farming for certain characters. And the reason you could be wasting these resin for these characters is based on artifacts. So if you are farming artifacts for certain characters, potentially you could be wasting resin in 1.4 farming for these characters and trying to get better artifacts. I don't know if this is true or not true, but I'm just letting you know that there are a couple physical based characters that in Genshin Impact that are physical DPS characters that you could potentially get a better artifact set in 1.5 for. Now, if you would like to figure out what that artifact set potentially could be, you should probably use Google, check it on Twitter, and look up the artifact set yourself. But I'll give you some of the tips of characters that I think that you should maybe hold off on farming for artifacts. The number one character that I'm thinking about right now for myself is going to be Fischl. I farmed these a long time ago, so I was thinking about going back to the domain, finding some better artifacts for my Fischl, like potentially getting better artifacts so that I could just, see what her max mins are, all that crap. But eventually I was like, all right, wait, if I try to farm for artifacts and better than this, I'm already going for like a well above max min and above the minimum roll threshold anyways. This could be a huge waste of resin. But also, I bet you there's a bunch of people out there who are maining, instead of Fischl, they're maining, say, Razor and other characters like that in order to get, more damage. Like, I'm not fan of race cards. But if you are farming Razor Arts and you're aiming for like a 4-piece Gladiator set right now, if you're out there farming a different set, potentially you could be farming a set that would not be the best in-slot set for that character. Characters maybe like Zhang Li for physical builds, Zhang Ling for physical builds. These characters, I probably would not go for farming artifacts because this set might exist soon. And because it might exist soon, it would be a really good set. So there are some other characters. Let's see, what else is there? There's Keckwing. Keckwing would be another character that you could potentially farm for this set that is coming out. She would be great with it. The way you would have to use it with her set is a little bit different, and how you would have to kind of like play with it being different. But so far, based on the information that I've seen about this potential set, Keckwing could work with it pretty well. And of course, the new characters Bula and the new character Bula, that is the new waifu coming to Impact on 1.5. I'm not even sure what her name is, but I think it was Bula. But she's I think she also could potentially use that shed or something like that. Jin Yang, though, is a character that you're totally fine farming right now. So if you are farming for a Jin Yang, this is a character that's probably not going to utilize any kind of new artifact set that's going to come out. You're probably fine with what you got. You could probably rock with a 2 set on your current artifact set for like Bloodstain, and maybe another artifact set that could be coming out. But I'd say that's what you could do. For Beidou, you probably can't. Yeah, I'd say that no matter what, Beidou's probably going to be stuck with whatever set she has right now. And let's see, is there anybody else? That's basically it. Those characters are all physical characters. Oh yeah, Kaya too. Yeah, Kaya potentially Kaya, but maybe not. Depends on how you do your rotations and everything. All of those characters with Fizz builds are gonna get a potential boost in 1.5, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not on the beta server, and I'm not gonna be leaking information. But if you do think that these characters are going to get a buff, let me know, because I'm very interested. Now, the reason I think that physical characters, first off, are kind of lackluster is because of the new floor 12, and a lot of people can agree that the new floor 12 is really, really fizz, counter to fizz. And a lot of people don't like how counter fizz is, so they're not using fizz teams in general. So I get it. It's hard to justify using a fizz team nowadays. So I get it. It makes sense to me. There are a lot of other builds that you can use for different characters, but fizz has been something that is kind of fallen off the wayside. I recently got the Skyward Harp on a pull set. I'm still working on it right now, but I love it for a fizz build, and it finally shores up this weakness for Fischl that she has about only being single target DPS by adding that 125, which is super nice. But there are other characters out in the game that also rely really heavily on physical DPS, and if you do have a 5-star weapon or 4-star weapons for those characters, it'd be really good. For example, Zhang Ling with a Crescent Pike is a really, really powerful character with a fizz build. So is Zhang Li with the fizz build. I use both of those regularly on my Asia server. I wanted to let you guys know that fizz builds in 1.5 could potentially come back, but there's nothing you can do to really pre-farm those things except for farming talents and stuff for the characters, war, etc. You're not really going to be able to do much for farming for these, potential artifacts. And I think the last time Genshin Impact was really, really exciting was in 1.2 when we had a bunch of different new artifacts to farm, different strategies to try, etc. And I'm really excited for new life to kind of get breathed in the game, because the last artifact set we were grinding was the Hydro and Cryo set, and that was over 3 months ago. And if they introduce new artifact sets every 3 months or so, I think that's a good pace for new artifact sets, because at that point, we got to the point now where I was just kind of waiting for the next set of content. By the way, thank you for 90,000 subscribers on the channel. Y'all are awesome. We just hit it yesterday. I didn't even realize I was going to say something this morning, but I forgot. But I put out a poll yesterday, and yesterday I was trying to figure out where everybody was in the game, and we got 60,000 votes in the poll. Most of the people that watch my channel are probably not new players to the game, so I don't think this is reflective of the entire community of Genshin Impact, because when new players come to the game, the first thing they go to is not YouTube. They just keep playing the game, and at a certain point they're like, oh, wait, I should probably be efficient. What should I do? And that's probably in the AR 30s when they run out of quests and stuff, and they're like, crap. So I'm assuming that that's where this kind of breaks down from. But because that's the case, if this was representative of the whole community, where we have 1% of people are below AR 25 and a bunch of people who are very high AR, very interesting. This started out at AR 55 plus at being 56%, and then went down to 51% gradually, and it's kind of normalized at that point. But I'd say for the endgame player base, most of the players in the game are getting to the point where they're kind of out of content to do. So the next thing that we could do as far as content to do is farm the next artifact set. And the next artifact set would be for new characters in the game, for new strategies in the game. And that would be probably something to do. But many people are already, since they're already AR 55, grinding artifact sets for the current characters. And another artifact set doesn't necessarily feel like content, but it is something that you can do to test out different strategies. The reason I wanted to go over Genshin Impact and content and where we are in the game is I'm pretty sure you've been feeling this, most content creators in the game are kind of out of content that they want to really be providing to the community. And it's because when you're looking at Genshin Impact as a whole, there are way less things for people to talk about. And an artifact set is something that's new and fun to talk about. So most of the ideas have been exhausted at this point, and people don't want to have repetitive content other than other people. I still have a lot of ideas that I want to go through on this channel, so I don't worry, I haven't run out of ideas yet. But that's just because I'm naturally curious about way too many stupid things like Fischl. I'm naturally curious about how Fischl performs with a Blacklift Warbow versus a Skyward Harp. Actually, we can just go look at that right now. It was dropping like 12k earlier. So with no stacks and a Blacklift Warbow, how do we do? Yeah, it's only 2k difference, and that's with no stacks. $25.86 with max stacks. Okay. Versus 2270. So it's 300 attack and C damage versus the proc on the harp, which is 20 C damage. 300 attack versus 20 C damage and basically a 125 proc every 4 seconds. Yeah, there's no way the harp's gonna be worse, but damn, bro, that's actually interesting. All right, guys, there's not much to do in Genshin Impact lately. I think we're all in the same boat where we're kind of like just waiting for the next set of content. And I figure that no matter what, we're always gonna have different things to test out and try different things on this channel. So don't worry, I haven't run out of ideas yet. There's plenty for us to do. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Peace.